Alright. Let's see. Oh, we have 22 already. How are you doing tonight? So, this is I was asking over on both the channel on Twitch and on Blue Sky, what kind of challenge runs that people like me to see do. And this one came up multiple times. So I was waiting for a nice long weekend, but we'll see how we do with it. I'm sorry that you're sick. So, I hope you feel better, as always. I mean, I got a long weekend, I don't know about you. If you have a long weekend, hopefully, it's not going to take too much time out of your day. So, this one we were asked to do a hard mode run on. And it's one of those games that I don't know if I have the coordination for it. But we'll see how that works out. Now, if you've watched the anime, Clementine, the character on the right over here, is going to be us. And she is a little out there. She's a bit nuts, to say the least part of it. And, she ends up getting herself killed in just a minute. But Lord Ainz decides he's gonna play with her. Shoves her in the tomb and makes her try to leave. Just to find out she can't. And she has to start over. Every time she dies, she gets to restart. It's a very sick joke. Because they just keep resurrecting her. Over and over and over again. I think of the first 13 or 14 books of the series. I haven't read the manga for most of it. I think I've read through, I think 6 or whatever. And I thought from what I read of it, the anime did a very faithful adaptation for several of the story arcs. That's so disgusting. That still grosses me out every time I see that. But I thought when they got to was it season 4, it kind of went off the rails. And I was decimated when they turned what should have been season 5 into a movie. That was just like an epic waste. Doing the light novel, it only adds to the Harpy farm. Okay. I don't think I read far enough into the manga to get to the Harpy farm. Of course, I haven't looked at him in ages. I looked at it on one of those e-reader jobs. So I don't have the physical books in front of me. Though I have been wanting to get a copy of the set. But I don't know how far the manga really goes. And how faithful it is to the series. Harpy describes the person who is experiencing a positive emotion, such as pleasure, joy, or contentment. The happy farm. Are we talking about, Beto's insanity? Because she's a bit nuts. And you can tell, at least on the anime, that they toned her down in, was it mid-season 2, season 3? They toned her down a lot. It's probably what she should have been to begin with. But, you know. So, this is going to take a minute for me to remember the controls. Demiurge is evil when she's not even close to him. I never said she was evil, I just said she was nuts. Of course, then again, they're all crazy in their own ways. That's it. I mean, all of them are nuts in some way, shape, or form. But she's the most severe, in my opinion, because he tampered with her by adding the in love with him clause. And because that was already contradictory to her personality and configuration, it just made her more warped. No, the bug guy is the butler are pretty good, actually. Kyoko's the butler? Okay, I missed that one. Yes, she did. And if I remember correctly, the configuration was she was supposed to be closer to a tsundere. Yes, I'll write that. So she's, you know, a little cracked and highly obsessive, but not to homicidal levels. But when he changed her focus to be on him, she went into the near homicidal range. Oops. Now, I am playing hard mode, so I really don't need to be talking too much, but I'm going to do it anyway. I know I'm going to go bonkers on this and miss a bunch of shit, and let's just say I'm going to make a lot of mistakes and die. I just have to remember to save often. I do remember a significant amount of this game, so we'll see how this works out. Kokaitis and Sebastian are pretty good, actually. I liked the characters. Those two characters. I thought they were well designed. Hold on. Yeah, come on. Nailed it. Oops, messed up. Yep, we're good there. Alright. Memory fragment. First memory fragment. Oh, the first memory fragment was like the second to last. Alright. I just thought that this particular character, Clementine, was a waste to kill her off so quickly. Yeah. Alright. Oopsie. It's not to the side, right? She's not dead. No. Never said she died. No, the sheer idea of in the book her body disappeared. Yeah, it's because they took her. That's where this comes from. Because they took her body back for experimentation. To see if she was truly inhuman. This one. Well, they left Khajiit and his allies behind to take the fall. Now, Einzigel wanted to take her body. Oh, so he didn't even get the body. Oh, that's a shame. And then she never shows up again. That is the only problem I had with the series, is that there was a lot of situations that they just kind of left as one-offs, where the story just kind of like dead ends for a character or a storyline. Like, as an example, we don't get to see what happened to what's an example? So we didn't get to see. Let me go this way. What was I looking for? Oh, the Dwarven Kingdom, as in a classic example. You know, what happened next with the Dwarven Kingdom? You know, we never got to see the follow-on for the inspections to see if the Dwarven Kingdom held or whatever. That kind of, there's a lot of little stuff like that that, aw, what a shame. A lot of little things like that. Yeah, up we go. Let's go ahead and do that. Yes, and we'll upgrade the sword because it's the best weapon I have right now. I got enough. Too many characters were introduced and not enough room for everyone. Exactly. It's a huge cast, and when you get into like, what is it, season 3? Yeah, by the time you get to like season 3 or is that like light novel 4? I think it is 3, 4. You get to around that point in the series, and there's so much going on. I mean, they're throwing new characters at you left and right. You know, all of a sudden, you go from Ainz having, what, a dozen staff members in the whole crypt, and now all of a sudden he's got, you know, a whole city created by his companions. You know, there's a good 100 maids, all of which have names. Okay, can't get up there yet. Ooh. Hello, guard. I got hit. Ah, crap. I don't care. Get out of here. You're actually playing because I'm only seeing... Ah! Stupid cut screen. Hold on. Fine. Stupid Windows being dumb again. Let me reset the window. Fine, let's use this window. So basically the whole first 15 minutes of me running around here getting shit wasn't recorded. Yay! That's annoying. Yes. So you haven't missed anything significant. I got the firepower. I have this firepower here. I got my short sword. So I got my short sword, I got my stiletto, my short sword. The whole story, which you missed apparently, because it was acting stupid. No, I started. However, I'm early enough. Where is that? There it is. I will reset since I don't have a story. My window is covered, so I wasn't paying attention and my window is covered. So I normally don't do that with the window being covered. But it's life. So go through the story here. I'll let it play out. No, thank you for mentioning that because I didn't notice because I had my social media window up and it was covering the thing, so I didn't notice that it didn't change properly. Because, you know, it gets weird sometimes. But it's okay. I'll let the dialogue go here. I said I'm only a few minutes in, so this scene always creeps me out, though. Her puking up that much blood. Blah. Just by being squished. Imagine what kind of pressure you'd have to put on the body to make you vomit blood that far. And not break the skin and have your body go out the other end. You know what I mean? Because you'd think that they would go out, you know, any available orifice if you were to squish that hard. I work in the medical field. It's not as much as you think. Well, you know, not all of us work in the medical field, so. I know that the classic fountain of blood thing doesn't actually exist. I know that. I know that's because of a gaffe in, what was it, the 50s? And everybody just ran with it. Because the actor sold it so hard. I know that. I know where the fountain of blood comes from. And I've seen the clip. It's amazing. You know, the thing I didn't like about how the series went was all the loose ends. Like, they go through a huge effort of defining Karn Village in season 1. And getting, that whole storyline set up with the Goblin Army and all that jazz. And then when they do the fight on the Kotz Plains, they go back, right way back to it and do that. And they just left it. She now has a 5,000 man army of goblins, and you never hear about it again. Did they go home? Did they just go back into the ether where they came from? Or is she now having a settlement that she now has to worry about 5,000 goblins? You know, it's one of those things that's never left out. The Lizardmen? Well, the Lizardmen they kind of touch in when they do the Dwarven Empire. They go back to the Lizardmen, you know, and kind of give you a brief, what's going on with the Lizardmen. So that's okay. And I'll reset my save. So that's alright. But they don't, it's a lot of one-offs. And then when they start adding in characters pretty much willy-nilly. You know, a lot of the characters are worth it. They're unnecessary, but you have the Guardians. And, as an example, the Generals under Demiurge. You see them in exactly one episode. Episode 1. You know, episode 1, book 1. They show up. And they never show up again. But later on, we get like a dozen provincial maids. And then when Tuare shows up, she basically just disappears after being in like 3 episodes. You know, being a central character over like, you know, several episodes and books. And then she's just gone. we never see her again. And Sebas only shows up, what, once? After he comes back with Twari? It's just one of those things that never sat well with me. The writer just wrote in and wrote out characters super quick. And it really didn't make much sense why he would sit there and write characters in and out so quickly. Great, thanks. Especially after involving, you know, so much time into some of the characters. Some of the characters, they spend a lot of time developing, like Sebas. And then he just disappears. I mean, I can understand things like Momon being basically written out once he achieved his goal and took over the city, Iranto. That made sense. Because he didn't need it anymore. But just the sheer number of characters that were created just to disappear, you know, an episode or two later. Was staggering. Oh, buddy. Well, I gotta say the Cleric Quintet series was worse written than Overlord. Oh, really? Now, there's one series that I thought at the time was really good. And then as I watched more and read more, both modern and classic anime and manga, was Sword Art. When I first saw that particular series, I thought it was reasonably well done. And had room to grow. But then I went back and watched it again after seeing some other stuff in the similar, you know, video game world or whatever one-offs. And honestly, the writing and pacing of the original Sword Art was crap. I didn't have a problem with it not being a one-off because they did some good stuff with the characters afterward. Some of the side stories that they did were actually really well written. I never liked Underworld. The games are pretty decent to my understanding, but the actual Underworld manga and anime to me just felt like a poor cash grab. It felt like a cash grab. You know, but like, the first season of GGO felt good, and that was well written, in my opinion. Both the Death Gun arc and Karen's arc with Len, I thought that particular one-off was well written. But, like, the second season of that was terribly done. Sword Art could have been a lot better, in my opinion. But if they had just kept it when the original world, the survival horror, laughing coffin arc. Exactly. The whole Death World thing was actually well written. Was not well written, I won't say that. It was a good idea. It wasn't well written. Because, oh my god, the plot holes. The intentional one-offs that, for some strange reason, they decided to turn into, crazy epic standards. Like Pina, as an example. And literally all of the series, every series, both the shows and the games and the books afterward, they were able to port Pina out of SAO. Now, I get Yui. Because she was well explained. Oh yeah, look at that. They explained her well because it was an item that he had that was imported. But Pina didn't make any sense. They neither magical MacGuffin. They need magical MacGuffins. But the idea that I said Yui made sense, but Pina didn't. Pina's one of those like, why? Why did Pina need to continue? And I understand, what they did to make that work, at least in Elfheim. This guy. All right. Come on, you little bugger. Well, when they made Alfheim, you know, to be a clone of SAO, you know, backup copy, so to speak, making Peanut available in that environment made a lot of sense. Because at that point, you know, her data would have been copied over. But literally making it available in everything else, too. Oh, that's bad. I don't got enough hit points to do this. If I remember correctly, you literally just copied these. They did. What they did was they had backup. The way they explained it was they cloned Cardinal. The Cardinal system from SAO. And then when SAO was shutting down, they made a backup copy of as many of the players as they could. They snatched them out of the stream as they were trying to shut down. They diverted them into Alfheim, into the test server, so they actually didn't come out of a coma, and they became just test subjects for the Madman, for Sugo. Alright, let's do this. And then when they released the actual seed code, this is better. Then everybody had basic SEO capabilities. I don't need that. So what do you think realistically would happen to those people that did that? Boss fight. Give me a minute. I gotta beat up Alpha. And I expect that, well, I gotta beat up Alpha's servant. But, I'll explain that in a minute. I actually did a little bit of research on it, in my opinion of what happened. Okay. I did not want to do that. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Ah! That's bad. What was that? Okay, that was weird. I just kind of slipped straight into the boss fight. Okay, anyway, so you asked what would happen in reality. Okay, so in reality, SAO. First off, they would not have been in coma for 2 years. That's first and foremost. Pure and simple. And the reason they wouldn't have been in coma for 2 years is because everybody was allowed to could be moved to a hospital. The system had a backup battery long enough to get somebody from wherever they were to the hospital before the battery died. The only way that would have killed somebody is if it killed them immediately. Otherwise, the backup battery wouldn't have lasted more than maybe 20, 30 minutes. We're talking about a highly power-intensive thing. Pure and simple, somebody would have been late to the hospital, caught in traffic, accident, something. And the battery would have drained out. Poof, Bob's your uncle. No. And they wake up. That's first of all. Second, the corporation would have gone down and just cut the hard lines. In reality. Once they knew everybody was trapped in the game, they just could cut the hard lines. And the game would have shut down. Poof, everybody would have been released from the system. No backup, no death. Now, if there was a safety in the headset to terminate somebody if they lost connection to the server, again, back to A, they would have died when they came off the network. Pure and simple. 3, the headsets would not be capable of preventing somebody from tampering with them. The backup battery in the headset, assuming it had enough power to fry someone's brain on its own, if we assume that, was still a battery. Which means if you yanked the battery at the same time you yanked the power cord, the thing would have shut down safely. So the simple logistics of how technology works meant that those people would not have been in there for 2 years. Pure and simple. Somebody would have just gone to the headset and figured out how to yank somebody out of it safely. Sure, a couple people may have died, but the researchers who built the things would have found a way to get everybody out safely, or to safely shut down the server. Because all I'd have to do is go in and update the server. So the idea of the death game could have happened. The way that they described the headsets working totally could have worked. Totally could have worked. Because it was using microwaves. And all it would take is a higher output on the microwaves to cause significant brain damage or death. So, could the headset do that? Yes. Could it have done it to everybody at once? More than likely not. Sure, a couple people might have died, but overall, most people wouldn't have. Even if the death in the game triggered the death sequence in real life, the fact that all of the engineers who designed it and built it for mass production, except for one, were sitting outside the game looking at this problem, guarantees that they would have found a way around it. Either by destroying the headset or by shutting down the servers. Now, let's go from the death game side of it and over into the whole Cardinal side, where you have a system that never actually needs user input or shutdowns for updates and such. That could be done today. We can do that right now. We don't, for obvious reasons. The logistics of that up until the last few years wasn't really feasible. However, that being said, with the modern cloud technology that we have, you could have a server farm that you could have all connected with the virtual machines and literally move around servers on demand. Like, you would rotate out the load of all the characters off of servers so that the server is basically idle, and then move the server from one physical host to another, roll everybody off, and then once it is off the host, you do all the updates on the host, and then move it back. And then you can move it back and do it all over again. And if you have enough reserve servers, then you wouldn't really have to worry about it. And it's really talking about 10 to 50,000 players, depending on whether you look at the book's numbers or the show's numbers. Either way, it doesn't matter. 50,000 people is meaningless. That's literally 2, maybe 3 racks in a server farm to host the whole thing. So being able to do that as live updates and whatnot, totally easy. Totally easy. But no, the whole death thing, nah. Wouldn't happen. Totally wouldn't happen. Wouldn't be possible. That one's just gotta heal. That's got the broadsword. That's what I want. Now, the technology did some look into the actual concept for the tech. So dealing with beaming signals straight to the brain. That's a little different. This game gives me Castlevania vibes. It's supposed to. First of all, it's a Metroidvania. Let's start with that. So it's supposed to give you Castlevania vibes because it's the same style game. We start with that. Second, Castlevania was a yeah, I caught you. Not what I wanted. The Castlevania series was an influence for the writer. That's actually well known. So there is that. That game has been an influence for a lot of writers. It was. Castlevania was an influence to a lot of writers. It spawned a whole genre of video games, period. Metroid was one of the first in that style to go mainstream. But Castlevania 3 and Metroid 2 on the Super Nintendo were the two that really made the genre take off. I've already opened this. I already got the one from over here, so I can get them right that way. Between those two, that's what really made the series take off. Or the type takeoff anyway. Okay. I'm good. I need to keep 300. I mean, there's a lot of games that took after it in style. This is not the only one. God, it's a whole genre of games, especially now, as developers have learned how to make video games stupid cheap. Yeah, cheap and quick. With all the development toolkits and whatnot. Oh no! Oh, I didn't want to do this yet. Okay, now we're going after Yuri Alpha and Interest. Okay. Alright. Also back to sword art. Just wanted to say if we achieve that much ability in the RPG video game, I think we should be able to create a virtual haven. Well, the concepts behind sword art being doable. The technology theoretically could work. I actually did a lot of research into that. And that type of concept has been around for a very long time. Alright, give me a second. I gotta do 400 damage to Yuri Alpha. Oh great, she's immune to fire. Bloody bugger. Ooh! I like the last fight. This one... I don't think this has got any heals in it. Okay, so let's see here. Back to start. Technology. The idea of using some sort of focused EM wave to stimulate neural activity is something that's been researched off and on for, I don't know, since the 70s, 80s? With the technologies we have now, you could have hundreds of EM transmitters sitting around the head. And by using a gridded triangulation, you could do something and actually cause it to, oh no, let's say the term, the technology to make it work. I could nuke your brain in the 50s with a microwave. It was large, it was bulky, wasn't useful. Using electrostimulus, putting physical probes in your brain, was pioneered in the 50s and 60s, and they could prove that electrochemical and electrical signals could be manipulated. Later technology, we've got like cochlear implants, we have physical neural implants, several varieties of companies working on it. And somebody can like play Pong and shit. No big deal there. However, what came out of that was the EEG and the EKG. By listening to the electric signals, we can learn what the body is doing and use that as input. in order to control something. So you can have a simple controller that basically uses an EEG for, I think they can do 8 buttons, maybe 12 buttons now of movement. So the technology is getting better, but not really as adept as it needs to be. But for the level of context that Sword Art was using, they were using direct radiant and direct stimulus from sections of the brain that were millimeters across. Literally by the millimeters, if not smaller. We're not going to get to fucklights. That's a completely different concept. And it's on a nanoscale. Let's skip that. But being able to manipulate the cells and stimulate them to react or fire in a sequence to cause your brain to hear a sound or see something. You know, be able to see images or colors, whatever. We can do that now. Can we make that as vivid as a TV screen? No. Could we? In theory. By using a gridded pattern, like a matrix cube, you could use several different frequencies bombarding the brain, and let the peak of those frequencies hit the brain in a cluster of cells in order to cause a reaction. Now, if you can do that in the right sequence, and you can stimulate it in just the right way, then you could create a sound, or you could trigger a memory, or you could do any number of things in the brain. In theory, that could work. In practice, we still have no clue how complicated the brain is. We're still trying to figure that out. But in theory, the technology could work. The simplest solution would be to actually use the senses of the brain the way that you would normally interact with them. So like you would put a VR headset on and you would see, you'd use your actual eyes to see it. So your brain, they don't have to sit there about the brain. I just think we've mapped out the brain in Sword Art 2.8 terabytes. 2,800 terabytes of memory is all you need to make sure the brain consciousness is functional in a digital format. From a mathematical perspective, that might be close to right. Might even be accurate. But you have to remember, every person's brain is mapped differently. When they do neural net tests on people using using an MRI, okay, and let's start with the fact that they can't use anything too strong on a person because it'll tear you apart and it's too big. But they can map the brain and map how signals are traveling through the brain. Okay? They can talk to you, and they've mapped the ears. You know, your whole hearing system. They've mapped, you know, for individuals, mind you, this is individuals. They can map the muscle movements of your hands or your arms or whatever. That kind of stuff we can map, but it is on an individual person's basis. And because it's individual by person, it is nearly impossible to use that generic data for everybody. And just assume it's going to be accurate. You'd have to tweak it and tune it for each person. It'd be easier to give you a VR headset goggles some earphones for your audio and visual inputs. Read your brain's EEG for movement, and the hard part of the way Sword Art Online's helmet works, and this is the one that I was looking into most importantly, was how do you cause sleep paralysis? Because you have to cause sleep paralysis. Otherwise, it's no different than a modern VR headset. And that's the part that still stumps people. Is how do you cause the sleep paralysis? Let me get that out of the way. The thing is, AI can't solve that problem. In reality, AI can't solve that problem. It's not a problem AI can solve. AI can only solve a problem you already know the answer to. That's something a lot of people don't realize. Modern AIs, they can't actually do something you don't know how to do yourself. You have to be able to explain it to the AI in order for it to be able to find a solution for you. Now, it can find a solution you already know. It can connect dots you may not have connected. But oh! Was not expecting that. Ouch! Ow! Yeah, I lost my butt again. This is one of those fights that even on easy, it took me a while to figure out. And I haven't touched it in ages, so. Bloody bugger. Alright, second phase. Whoo! Thanks, Yuri. I got to the second phase. That was an improvement. But the whole idea of a full dive MMO, or a full dive game, MMO or otherwise, or a DRMMO, concept. Oh, buddy bear. Bloody bugger. Oh, I can't bounce off that wall. No wonder I can't. Wow, that was a bad run. That was terrible. Alright. Try it again. I don't know. I think I got stuck in this all night, though. Oh! Alright. 30% health. I got stuck between a rock and a hard place. Literally. That was literal rock and a hard place. And think, this is just the first boss fight, and she's the easy one. Etima is gonna be the pain in that butt. Great. Whoa, she went early. She went at 50%? What? That's not how that's supposed to work. Okay, hold on. I need more hit points. I need more damage. I need to do way more damage. I can't afford it. Can I dig up? It's health. But can we dig up? Yeah, that's okay. If I can get one more, sword upgrade, I think I'll be okay. I'm gonna have to wander around a lot. I don't want to go through that. I guess I can go this way. But we're gonna need 400 to make this work. That's what we're gonna need. Alright, hold on. Let me grab some health. That put us to... Oh my goodness. That's okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, bad. Okay, boys. Alright, let's take care of this. I got 2 rooms down here I did not do because I did not have easy access to a way to kill those guys. So doors are open. I'm gonna go up, resave. Because now I have access to those rooms. Which isn't bad, because I'm already at 400, almost 400, so. Alright. So let's see what we have over here. There is a fort active. Okay, that requires the mace. I need 420. That's fine. What's over here? Okay. Electrical. This will get me what I need. What do we got? More fire magic. That's not helpful. It got me what I needed for, the broadsword. So that's good. So we can get the broadsword pushed up one more level. So that puts our broadsword up to 21 damage. So that takes my damage to Yuri Alpha from 40 hits, not counting crits, down to a paltry 20 hits, which logistically is doable. Alright. Well, now we should actually be okay. Because I've got my broadsword leveled up enough. And it being leveled up enough. Because I already got her down to like 30% when she goes into her berserk mode. And starts throwing the big rocks at us. So I can already get her down to there without the broadsword being, you know, basically maxed out. Well, it's not quite maxed out. It's got like one more step to be maxed out. So we should be okay. Yeah, and she goes into her... Oops. There he goes. That's it. With the sword being basically maxed out, I knew it was going to be easy. I was just trying to do it without maxing out her sword. Ah, yes. So you defeated Yuri Alpha. Good. I would have been disappointed if you'd fallen so soon. Haha. Yeah, I'm pathetic out of time, mighty. Take me down a peg. Uh-huh. But you have other people you must go through. Little lab rat. See these people? They might all face you too. Want me to do it next. I'll return her head on a silver platter. Oh, of course. Shaltier wants to chime in. That's enough. Alright, so that puts us through chapter 1. Key. And we got a whole bunch of magic, another weird memory. And a save point. Now, naughty, you don't really want to go much farther than you absolutely have to. So yes, we'll use this one. Use 100 here to get some more defense. Use this one. I think this is attack, right? Ability boost. Max HP goes up. That's a good thing. And not sure. I forget. Ah! The magma layer. Oh, that's hot. Yeah. If I look at the fire magic, I'm immune to that area. Alright, let me check. Let me make sure. I think there's one more thing down here I can go do before. Oh, that's the circle. And I think that's it. Yeah, also circle. Okay. So without the circle, we're not going to get very far. Sounds good. Can't do it there. That's a down until you get the double jump. And save. Alright, we need the mace. With the mace, I can make that climb. Oh, here's the portal. Okay, so from here, we can look at the map. So I have here and I have here. We've got all but a few rooms in the purple gray section done. Those will be fed in from later on. And then we just start the fire area. We get to work through this. Alright. And that's nasty. Not that it matters, because I have my fire on, so only the actual initial hit is of actual pain. That one's different. That's poison damage. Damn it. Alright. And the funny thing is, I'm using... Oh, spear. I don't know if the spear's any better. The spear does a long average speed. How much damage does the spear do? 11? I think I'll go this way. Spear might be okay. I've never actually seriously used the spear. The only downside to this game is that you get so many weapons so quickly. A lot of them aren't really worth using. I don't have that about it yet. Okay, so... Oh, the hot spring. Sure. I forgot about the hot spring. Ah, the mace. This looks pretty handy. Can have some treasure with this. Yes. So the mace has a unique ability that allows you to climb walls. Oddly enough. It's also a decent weapon. I don't think you can upgrade the mace. You might be able to. It does take a bit of getting used to. They can give you this nice parkour to get you kind of like into the maze. It is a little tricky. And you've got several guys down there. There's a door. Alright, so we have a door down there. Ooh, ah! Yes, Mr. Ogre. So the question is, can the mace be upgraded? Because I don't remember. Stiletto can be upgraded. Yes, the mace can be upgraded. And as far as I know, the Morning Star doesn't actually get replaced. So I need 450 for the next one, and then 5 something serious for the last one. Let's grab that. But now that I have the mace upgraded, it'll make a decent weapon. Whoop! Bloody butter. That was a mess. That little guy, that impy, was a pain in my butt. He was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Let's just say that was bad. Alright. I got a door over here. And I've got... Okay, that's an unlocked door going down. So let's deal with Fireboy over here. I don't need you. I am not playing with you. I'll just fire on you. Charge the ability boost. Thank you. Some more hit points. I can dig that. Now, a serious challenge run in this game would be to do everything with the stiletto. And not using any other weapons. Okay. Okay. Cool. Right, hold on. There's a save here, isn't there? Yeah, right here. So if you did the stiletto as your only attack weapon, and if I remember, you can't upgrade the stilettos. Because you get all 3 of her stilettos eventually. Well, 4 of her stilettos. Because you got her fire or electric, and I think it's ice. It's the last one. And you got her damaging stiletto. Bloody bugger. Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. Where am I going? I need to go back down and go to the right. That's why you opened this up. Just go this way. Okay. Oh, that's bad. Oopsie. Alright, that gives me a little bit of health here. Combat knife. So the combat knife... Attack area, long and fast. Huh. Maybe? Let's give it a go. Okay, it definitely needs to be upgraded. Ooh! That was cheap. I'm not gonna complain. Because it means a little more mana for me. But, right or left? I guess left. Oh, buddy. This is rough. It's like playing Pitfall. Wait. That was bad. Bad timing. Oopsie. Wow. Sheesh. All right. Really? Well, I could max out my mace. Let it do more damage. Or I could try this combat knife. What do you think? Combat knife? Now, it's only got 6, and based on the damage upgrades. It's probably not going to get to 10. I'm going to go this way. Oh. I didn't have enough. $653. What was that number again? For the maze? 550. That's enough. Okay, now I don't have to worry about the maze. It'll be maxed out. Because the Morning Star doesn't get to do any more damage. So, it is what it is. That does 35 damage? What? Oh my goodness. I did not realize the mace did that much damage when it maxed out. Problem is, I don't know where I died. Oh, back here. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. That was a long time between. So, if that's doing 35 when maxed out, I wonder what my broadsword will do. Kind of actually want to level up the broadsword. My God! That was a mess. That was a total mess. Now, so we got the dagger. Oh, the knife. Right. Sad press, I was actually pretty much through. That section. Going left. Pretty much through the left branch of this. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. Come on, dude. Alright, so I'm curious what my broadsword does at 27. at full damage. Oh, let's do that. And then we'll level up the mace. The mace doesn't have a lot of range, but doing 35 damage with the mace is really sharp. Yeah. You're just an ogre. Die, ogre. That was just meant as for you to get away from the ogre. Okay. I'll take you up. Alright. What's the ending of this game? Does she get away? No. No. She doesn't. When you finish the game, she finds out that she's gonna have her mind scrubbed, and she goes back to the beginning to do it all over again. Alright, hold on. I think there is a section over here I still need to finish. That's what I thought. I thought it was something over here that I needed to do. No. Ah, yes. Spikes. No, thank you. I'll pass, thanks. No, in the end, you find out that, you are an eternal pawn of Lord Irons and his crew. I am low on health. And being an eternal pawn, you never actually get out of here. You think you escape, but nope. Alright, so we are not going to use our points. We will save them. Oh, yay. Nabe. Narogama. Good morning, Naro. I forgot about this one. So I'm pretty sure this Castlevania endings where you have to find a certain things to get the perfect ending. Uh, I don't think so. I think maybe it might be tied to like your memories, where you have to get 100% of the memories. That might be what it is. Where you have to get all your memories in order to get the best ending. Yes, Nabro, I know. Get rid of these damn imps. There it goes. What you doing over there? This is not supposed to be where she spawns in, but okay. I'll give it to you. That's funny. You're not worth my time to squash. Yeah, I get it. Alright. Yep. Yeah, I'll say that's it. It's just a couple heals for the fight. Works for me. Alright. A little more magic. So up to 4 fireballs. And we're down here in the sludge of the... I forgot what the eyeballs. Oh, I thought. Say thank you. Okay, so I can go that way. Wow, I got that in the first try? That's amazing. Okay. I missed a section. Bloody bugger. I gotta go back down. Well. Oh yeah, I remember this now. Bloody bugger. That was a fun glitch. This is one of those hard ones. So, the perfect ending, I think it's tied to this. Where you have to get all 100 memories. And you have to get all the boosts. There might also be a connection to the, getting all the weapons too. Because there is an achievement for that. But I don't know if that's tied to the best ending or not. Oopsie. Ooh. Gotcha. Because getting all the memory fragments is really hard. Because you have to go literally through parts of the castle that you don't need in order to beat the game. So if you want to do the 100% thing, you really have to go out of your way. Plenty. And do like a perfect map. Not that it's not, it's hard to do, because once you finish the game, you can start from the last save point you made. So you can actually explore the whole castle. And some of the things that you have to get are really stupid hard. That pit of spikes that they, showed you. There's a couple of those. That you need to cross in order to 100% the map. And they're like, some of them are stupid hard to get across. You have to be like literally spot on. Uh-huh. Like here. There's a pit down there. Not a big deal. This one's one of the more reasonable ones. But that one needs to double jump. Which I don't have yet. No. I gotta... open this first. Bloodblade. Okay, now the Bloodblade is the same as the broadsword, but it starts at 12. So that goes go close to 30? Because that went from 11 to 27. The Bloodblade's probably going to be 30. I don't know if we want to actually level that up or not. So the Bloodblade goes to 15 on the first one. So it's plus 3. So if it's... Sure. It takes it to 19. It takes it to 24. Let's see if it's actually worth it. 30. Told you, 30. So, yeah, that would actually be worth it. Because there's an extra 3 damage. I think I want to save. I've done quite a bit since the last save, and frankly, I don't want to blow it on a stupid mistake. It's the last thing I want to do. And then lose, you know, more than a minute or two is... Ooh. That was almost bad. Okay. Oh, we were right at a save point. This game's got so many save points. It's hard to keep track of them all. I guess we're getting an electrical ability next. Ooh. Electro! Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's done. I tried fireballing him out, but apparently that didn't do so well. Should have just used my sword. Alright, let me go back and save real quick. Because it saves in just the last room. So. Yeah, the War Troll was definitely, See, if the War Troll had won, it would have been my stupid mistake. Because I tried to use the fire. I know the fire is not, very strong. I know that. But someone's waiting for me. Yeah, I'm not sure I like this. Alright, so we got enough to upgrade the blood sword. I do. Okay, so the blood blade is now maxed out. Which means it's better than my current one by a lot. +3 is a huge upgrade in this game. All I have to say is the bonuses, the damage bonuses in this game, 1 or 2 points makes a huge difference. Alright, we're about to die. Good morning, Maruyama. This one's gonna be a few fights. Definitely gonna be a few fights. God. Oh! Yeah, I get it. Gotta stop midstream. Oh! Twin Serpentine Lightning. Not. Ah! First try. The Twin Dragon Lightning did hit me twice, but I was expecting her to be a lot harder. So you defeated Narbral as well. Oh, good, good, good. Excellent data. Ha! Playbook as well. Actually, I really didn't. It wasn't that hard. Alpha was harder. Yuri Alpha was definitely harder than Maruyama was. The Great Beast from the Great Forest. Oh yeah, that's right. You gotta go after Hamsky. Yes, the very same. Nobody who's ever seen that notorious beast has come back alive. He's not that powerful, but it's okay. Yuri, Narble, oh, it's fine. You must press on for my sake. Yeah, like he'd actually let any of his underlings die. Alright. Or do you honestly think Ainz would let any of his people die? Ah, the winged rapier. I don't think I ever used rapiers. They're fast and they do decent damage. But I found when I was playing through normally, I was playing through the game on easy, that the longsword broadsword style was really the most efficient weapon when you take speed, balance, and control into account. Because the linear weapons, like the spear and the dagger, don't necessarily do a lot of damage, but they do have a long range. So they don't necessarily do a lot of damage, but they do go a longer range. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to KADOKAWA next, aren't we? Yes, 10th forest lower. I hate a forest with pain in the ass. That's about right, too. So let's become an intruder. Oh no, it's that. Come out to where I can see you, ugly mug. Unless you're too scared. Oh no. Challenge. A challenge is it? Rise to it I shall. Yep. Coming after Hamsky. Yeah, that's Hamsky, alright. Yeah, you've heard of me? I'm Hamsky. I love Hamsky. He's great. Great. The shoe fits. Yep, that's about right. Until next we meet. Yeah, Hamsky's great. It's a great character. Alright, so we do have a couple different options here. If you know where you're going. But unfortunately for us, we don't have necessarily enough things opened or enough abilities opened in order to be able to take significant advantage. Oh, damn mushrooms. Of the portals. Of the teleport portals. They are useful for getting some other gear and weapons and other power-ups that you do want to get. Thanks. I can't squeeze through. Not yet, anyway. Oops. That was fun. That was fun. And I don't want to hit that if I don't know what. Okay. That gives me a forge. Come on, little mushroom. Thanks. Great. Thanks. Oh! It set me up. That was weird. Apparently it gave it to me. Thanks, guys. Yo, we're great target practice. Great target practice. Okay. Open that door, go through there. I don't know why they all of a sudden they're like, yeah, you can climb vines. Considering, you know, you're climbing chains and such earlier. And now it's like, oh yeah, you can climb vines. It's kind of weird that all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be there. Right, give me that power up. Alright. I'm in my next bar of... Let's see what we got. Alright. Yeah. What do we have here? Hamski! Alright. Well. I think we should get the downslide soon. Listen, man. Oh. Being able to attack down like that is a huge advantage. The other thing that would make this fight a little easier is either the spear or the dagger, the long weapon. That would make life a lot easier. There's the fire did more damage, but you know. If it keeps him at a distance. Bad. Alright. We need a lifeline soon, please. Well. There's a door there. And there was a key, and... no, I'm gonna go save first. I'm gonna go heal. It's just past the last room, so... I'm gonna pull it safe, because I don't remember where the... That just looks like a boss room to me. Whether it's a monster spawn, or it's it's Hamski's room. Actually, I think Hamski's in the arena. Rather than in the forest swamp zone. He might be in the forest swamp zone. If I was in the arena. But see? Told ya. You get the key. Now what's this one do? Greater evasion. Okay, so greater evasion gives us what? The jump, block, roll, dodge past enemy. Which basically means we can go to a lot more areas. I think the other significant ability we have is like a double jump. Why dodge past him? I mean, honestly, why would I want to dodge past enemies? Now, there are times in, like, boss fights that doing a roll dodge would be useful. Like, fighting Yuri Alpha. Hamsky! Alright. Alright. Based on how we're doing, no, I need the double jump for that. I got the roll, but I don't have the double jump, so. Okay, so that's the mana dagger. Long and fast. So now the mana dagger, the assassin's dagger here. This one will go to round what? 20? With reach. So there is that. Alright, you have a good night. Bagel mushroom. I'm not sure. Wow, I just got a lot of hit points. Okay. Okay, so nothing useful there. I got a down and I got an up. Let's go down first. That takes us back. Okay, freeze magic. You have to jump on the vulture's heads. It's actually really tough. Believe it or not, those vultures are really hard. Because you have to time the freezing on the vultures to just right. If they have to be at the right height, they have to be at the right. All right. Always a pain in the butt, but it's okay. Let's see here. Oopsie. There was an upgrade here. I could upgrade my Morning Star. That does 35. And as far as I know, you don't get an upgraded Morning Star. Just that's what I bought. And I really don't have anything that I want to upgrade at the moment. And that takes care of that. Not a big deal. Not really that much of an advantage either. But should be oh, really? Great. I have to backtrack just to heal. Because I really need to heal. Because I screwed up really bad. Except for this, I know that I'm right by the next heal point, next heal save point. But honestly, the way I'm going with like, what was it, 12 hit points, whatever it was, I wasn't gonna make it. I wasn't making it. There it goes. Right. Let me go back this way. I told you. Not a big deal. We were right there. It was just a matter of getting through it. Alright. Great. not great. Mushroom. Okay. Surprising enough, I'm making good progress. Even with the gaps and having to go backwards. What's that, new stiletto? Oh, a new stiletto. Wait, this is one of my stilettos. How did I get here of all places? So that gives her her second stiletto, which raises her attack bar. But again, I haven't used the stilettos much because they have a really short range. And because of their super short range, oh, guess I made something. They're really not that useful. Now, they might be useful if you max them out. Because like I said, I've never maxed out the stiletto. I didn't max out the stilettos on easy. I just found it easier to do others. But what I might do is actually max out the stilettos this time around. See how much damage the stilettos actually do. I don't know where we are. In the board, though. It's possible we're getting close to where I want to be. Oh, yeah. Get past the wolves, get past the mushrooms. Aha! Stop jumping. So much of this game you get used to holding the run button. And then you screw up and it's like you don't need the run button for a lot of stuff. Now this one over here. Alright. Very fragment. Not sure how much more we have before we get to Hamscape. Hey, runs back in. Yeah, apparently he's in the Coliseum, so it's him and his Death Knight companion. And it looks like we're on the 6th floor. So if that's the case, boss could be next. Like I said, I don't have the stilettos upgraded. Got enough points for it. Alright, we'll give it a shot. Sorry to keep you waiting. Foolish intruder. Go, my minions, take her down. Oopsie. Well, I guess we're not gonna fight Amsky. Oh, bad. Alright, so that was nothing. That was nothing, burger. The wind key. Alright. Now in the world gets kind of weird. Hello, spider. So, at this point, we can go into the amphitheater and play with Hamsky. Or, we can backtrack. Now, the other thing we've gained so far that might be worth backtracking with I don't know if the stilettos are actually worth upgrading. Because she has 3 of them, and each time you get one, I don't know if you have to re-upgrade them or not. We'll give it a shot. So with the 2 stilettos, it comes out to 21. I don't know if the third stiletto you have to re-upgrade it, or if it's fine. Based on time of night, I'm not going to do the amphitheater. We're going to save here, and we'll start tomorrow from this point. Alright, thank you for dropping in, everybody, and I will see you later.